Hi, Camila.
Hi, hello.
Hello. Nice to meet you. I'm Emily.
Nice meeting you, Emily. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Pretty good, thanks.
Awesome. Happy Friday, first of all.
Thanks.
Made it to the end of the week. And second of all, thank you so much for buying our product. I'm very excited to help you and make sure that you're loving the curls that you're creating. The way this will work, Camila, is we'll first just talk about what you've done in the past, what works, what
Mhm.
hasn't worked. I read your questionnaire, so I know that you want to make sure that you're being able to control the curl shape and longer lasting curls, I think is something else you mentioned. Um,
Yeah.
so I'll focus on those as well. And then we'll go through wrapping it together to make sure that it's going to create the curls you're looking for. And yeah, I'll give you tips along the way. Sound good?
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Awesome. So yeah, when you used it in the past, what did you do? Walk me through it all. What worked, what didn't work?
So I have it with me, and something I did need for the past was my some help from my husband for because it was kind of messy to get it on. I don't know if you had any tips on how to apply it without any help, because maybe if I would start, it would start moving to one of the sides.
Yep, I can help with that for sure. Okay, no problem. And then were you able to, how did the curls turn out? Did you like the shape? Was it okay or?
So with the shape, something at least I was following a tutorial that I had previously seen on YouTube, and that's how I found about the product and stuff. And something that the girl would do is that she'd get the product out and she'd have the curls, and once she would get it off, she would brush them. The issue is that when I would brush mine, my hair would look like it's a one giant curl instead of multiple ones.
Yep, I can help with that too. I got you. We have very similar hair type. You and I. Your hair, does it hold a curling iron curl?
Not very much.
Okay, yep, I know how to help you. Okay, perfect. We can do this. And then my last question is, did you put it on when your hair was dry or lightly damp or after the shower? How was your hair? Did you put any product
Uh,
on
I
before?
did it like 95% dry, or if it was totally dry, like I just applied a splash from a bottle.
Okay, good. That's good. You should be doing that for sure. Awesome. Okay, that helps me a lot. We can dive into wrapping it and I'll give you some tips along the way. But before we do, we'd want to make sure our hair is prepped correctly. So recommend,
Mhm.
parting it into the two sections. You are like me, you do a little bit of a side part, right?
Mhm.
So I recommend kind of cutting it to the middle after you get that part. So it's side and then middle, if that makes sense. And that way there's just more even amount of hair on both sides. So the curls
Okay.
more even shape. Just a little tip on that front. I see your hair how it is now. Perfect. We'll want to have it like brushed and brought to the front. So it's in
All
the,
right. I'll bring my brush real quick. I don't have it
okay.
here.
If you don't have it, that's okay too. Don't you worry.
1 second.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. And your hair is dry right now?
It is mostly dry. I think it has a product. It has one of the oils, so it's a little heavy right now.
A little heavy. Okay. No problem. For longest lasting curls, I used to live in Puerto Rico where it's very humid, right?
Oh yeah.
And I would recommend using mousse if you want the longest lasting curls. Um,
Okay.
just a tiny bit of mousse, putting it in some type of spray bottle with water, shaking it
Okay.
up, and then spraying your hair that way. So if you ever want like longer lasting curls, that's what I recommend, or if it's super high humidity.
And how much mousse do I put with the water ratio?
So it's about half and half. Like, but the
Okay.
mousse is like egg size amount and then like a half a cup of water. So half and half mousse. And when it comes to mousse, you want to go for like the ones that foam, like you squirt it that way,
Yeah.
not like the aerosol bottles. and a lightweight mousse because we have a finer hair, so you don't want too much of a heavy product. It'll weigh the hair down. So a lightweight
Got
mousse
it.
or less is more. Perfect. Cool. And then we'll have our hair brought to the front into the two sections. Awesome. And then I like to put the scrunchies on my wrist so I have them ready when we get to that point. Awesome. And when we have the headband, I start by folding it in half so that the ends are even, and you're gonna get a crease right in the middle. You're gonna notice there's a wire all along one side. So when we put it on our head, we want that wire facing forward, not backwards.
Okay.
Perfect.
Like this.
Very good. Yep. And it's kind of like a headband. So wherever your headband normally sits, usually it's like right by your ear. That's kind of how you want it. Perfect. Now, are you a righty or a lefty?
I'm a righty.
So put your left hand on top. Great. Now I'll show you what the next step is first. We're going to basically make a pigtail on one side, and this is going to lock it in place so it's not sliding while we wrap the other side. So I'll take it from the top with you. Left hand on top. Good. Now push the end around. So your end's like this. You want to push it so that it wraps around and it should feel secure. Perfect. Good. Awesome. So now we can work on the other side, and we're going to grab a front section. So a small section. Great. Very good. And we're going to pull that towards the headband, over the headband. Great. And around. Awesome. Now we're going to grab another section right underneath the first and combine them. Perfect. And then pull it over the headband. You're doing great. Over and around. And if you want to give the hair a little tug when you get down, great. Just tug the hair a little bit so it pulls it tighter. Awesome. And now we can do a third one. Combine it. Wonderful. And pull it over. And you're doing a good job of having each wrap touch the last. So that's good. So you don't.
All right. I thought I didn't have to touch, and I was doing that wrong at first.
Nope, it's perfect. The touching is good. Now we're at the ears. We're going to grab all the hair that's left and combine it all together and pull the headband end towards your jaw. Yep, great. And then wrap around. And that'll help to make it a little bit tighter on the back too. Awesome. And then we just add the scrunchie. Perfect. Awesome. Okay. Now we can do.
Oh, this is not touching actually.
It's not touchable. What you can do then is just go like this, push it up a little bit. Yep. And then you can give it a little twist. Yeah, there you go. And now they're touching and it's good. Perfect. Awesome. All right, Camila. So we can do the other side now, unwrap it. Now I see that it's sliding a little bit backwards. So one thing we want to do is that first section, keep it close to the hairline. So wherever that section stops is where the headband's going to sit. So if you do it really small section, see it's only about a ½ inch away, the headband's going to sit closer here. Versus if I do a deep section, it's going to sit now, like this section goes all the way back there, it's going to push the headband that way. So if it ever feels like it's slipping, those first two wraps, just keep them closer to the hairline and not deep. Perfect. 1, 2. Beautiful. And we do a third one. Awesome. Pull it perfect over and under. And now we're at the ear. So we can grab all the hair that's left. Perfect. And then pull the headband end kind of close to your jawline. Yep, great. And then wrap it around. Perfect. Awesome. And then add the other scrunchie once we're done.
Oh, I don't think I have the other scrunchie with me.
Okay.
Give me one moment. It might have
Okay.
helped.
No problem.
Oh, I have.
You found it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Now I know the ends are sticking out. If you want the ends to be curled, that one's good. The other side, you can always just kind of wrap the end around and just move one of those loops down a bit, and that's it. Just to try to capture him. Awesome, Camila. Perfect. Nailed it. So yep, you can twist it if you like. The twist will make it feel more secure and it'll set those curls more tight, which will be good. It'll make them last longer. And then to do the headband look, you can cross them in the back. I switch hands. The one that's on top, I tuck it under. The one that's under, I tuck it over. Smush it down. There's no wrong way to do it though, however it feels good. And you don't have to sleep this way. You can sleep with it any which way. How does that feel? Does it feel better?
It feels good. I think it went a little back.
A little back. Yep.
Yeah,
And that goes
but
to
I think I
the,
can move it.
you can move it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So if we were to do it again, I would just recommend that first piece, keep it even smaller and closer to the hairline. So like that first section, take a very small one then, because it's going to lock it in place up here then and not so
Okay.
back. And that'll change it. And I want to show you one other thing real quick. It looks beautiful. Is one other thing, since you mentioned longer lasting curls, so this is something that you can likewise try another time. But we take that very small section, like I mentioned, right? And we wrap it over and under. Before you grab another section, do it again, over and under, then add another section. Over and under, over and under, another section. This is going to set these curls more tightly and they'll come out more spirally, which if your hair tends to like lose its shape throughout the day, it'll just fall out more nicely. So if you want more tight, defined curls, that's how you'll do it. And then you mentioned it all comes out in one large curl, right?
Yeah.
That's easy to fix. All you have to do once it does that, take a small section and twist it, and it'll pop into the curl shape. I know my hair is not curled right now, so it's not a good demo, but just take a couple sections, it'll twist and immediately create that curl shape. So you just do it however many sections you want, 3, 4, 5, like that, and you'll have all of the curls broken up. You can always just like ruffle at the roots a little bit, but it'll look beautiful with your hair type. That's exactly how I do it, what you just mentioned.
All right. That sounds good.
Cool. And yeah, just wait for your hair to be 100% dry before you take it out, and you're good to go. But yeah, you have great hair for this, Camila. It's perfect.
Thank you.
Beautiful hair. Awesome. Any other questions for me, hon?
So if I want to do it like through the day, like which is the earliest, like I can do it like, oh, I have something in an hour. Like,
I
is it gonna have any shape if I have it only for an hour or so?
Yeah, it would have shape if you have it for an hour. Just don't wet your hair if you only have an hour. I would just
Okay.
put it in dry and let it just kind of like reform the shape. If you have hairspray, maybe do a light hairspray and let it just sit in the shape and it'll reform it. The shape won't last as long, but I would say you just want to make sure you're going to have enough time for your hair to dry. So if your hair is very lightly damp, a minimum of about 2, 3 hours before taking it out.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And if it isn't dry fully and you have to go, you can blast it with a blow dry. But it whenever you blow dry your hair, it's just the curls won't last as long, essentially, if you do
All
that.
right.
But it'll help it dry, yeah, better. Cool.
Well, thank you, Emily.
My pleasure, Camille. Thank you so much for being our curl friend. We really appreciate you. Thank you. I'll send you
Thanks
a
to
copy
you.
of this recording so you can rewatch any of the tips if it's helpful.
Okay, that
Oh,
sounds good.
Have a
Have a
wonderful,
lovely weekend.
you too. Bye, hon.